His first album's great, but it's got that kind of raw, punk quality. This is a little bit more polished and a little bit more. Okay, look, I've arrived. This is me. Enjoy it, and it's fantastic. And I can't remember if that track. I think it is the single. I think the video for it or something like that. But yeah, it's a great. Again, it's one of those tracks that points you in the direction and goes, if you're not sure what to think of this, this is the kind of thing it is. That kind of encapsulates it all, which is a really, singles should do that, and smart musicians will make smart tracks like that. And it's great, and it's got the storytelling element that he puts in all of his tracks. It's got the rock and roll bit that is ultimately at the heart of everything he does. It's punky, it's folky, it's everything, and he's a bit of a legend, really. I really like the guy.
Right. Right on.
Quality.
Well, next up we have a brand new Cascadia Fault Line song. Marcus, who his drummer, sent me 2 songs, and this is the first one. And I believe today as well, or was yesterday, and we do this as well. So it was Marcus's wife's birthday. So a very happy birthday to Marcus's wife from Cascadia Fault Line. Just want to slide that in there. And we're going to get to their newest song. This one's called Counting Kings on Rainy Days. Dig this, Cascadia Fault Line.
Counting all the steps you take, when too far and
Right on, Cascadia Fault Line with Counting Kings on Rainy Days. And tell me that Rachel Dunn does not have a fantastic voice, and she just makes that whole song come together. I mean, it's a great tune, and I'm very thankful that Marcus and I have had a good relationship with his different bands and bring the stuff to play that we can play for him and play his band stuff, because it's great stuff. I mean, the whole band as a whole kind of, well, I could kind of contradict myself there, but it was point being is they are very talented, and it's such a good tune, and it's very mellow. And you know what? Honestly, I can honestly say that in this case that Rachel reminded me of at least the song reminded me of the Cranberries.
Oh, definitely. There's a it's like you're looking at my screen because I'm typing a tweet that's got the Cranberries in it right now. It really, really has got that kind of vibe. There's something. How would you describe it? There's something almost. Well, it's folky, I guess. There's something folky about the way it's not a folk song as such, but there's something. It's got a kind of mythical air to the sort of stuff that they write, which I think is that's a really bad description, but it's a really interesting narrative, I suppose, that their songs have, which I think is really cool. It's a great new tune by this band. They are really cool, and her vocals are absolutely outstanding, and the way they sit on top of that, and the way that those really long notes carry through while that guitar's chugging along is great. Big Cranberry singing there. It's exactly what I picked up, as I say. I think that. I mean, I think they're great anyway, but I think this is a really strong new track. I think it's really cool.
For sure, and Dolores O'Riordan is the singer's name for the Cranberries. But yeah, Rachel, you nailed it. You did such a fantastic job, and I can really do the song. So a big thank you to Marcus for singing the songs along, and they do owe me another interview, because the first one it was just technical difficulties and a couple things happened, but we figured out what the problem was. So Marcus, if you're listening, buddy, we'll have to step into an interview soon, have you guys back on. And just an FYI, they are currently looking for a bassist. So if you're interested, contact them. You can contact Rachel or Marcus on Facebook as well. And they do have their Twitter, which is Fault Cascadia on Twitter. So contact them that way, but they are looking for a new bassist. So next up, we have, let me see here. Yeah, we're going to keep the order that we're going with. So the next one is a new song by Katie Kitmaster. The one's called Kaleidoscope. Dig this.
It's been 4 months and 5 days since I heard your name. It's been 4 months and 5 days too long. It's been 4 months and 5 days since I heard you say, I love you, I love you, I love you, okay. It's been a while since I've seen you around this town. It's been a while since I've seen you at all. It's been a while since I've heard your voice. Can hardly remember how it sounds. And it's like a kaleidoscope of memories. I come running back to me. He never does, he never will. This love of ours is on the standstill. He never does, and I know that now. It feels like years since we had that fight. These last few months, well, they've just flown by. I will remember the time you called me mine, but I'm starting to forget the reasons why. Then it's like a kaleidoscope of memories. They come running back to me. He never does, he never will. This love of ours is on a standstill. He never does, and I know that now. 5 days since I heard your name. It's been 4 months and 5 days too long.
Katie Kitmaster, and you know what? Like we said before when we played Katie, it's different from from stuff we usually play. But you know what? It doesn't matter because she has a fantastic voice and she's such a talented artist. You know, and it's just one of those things that you can't help but play and enjoy her tunes. I mean, this is the newest one, and she emailed us probably about just over a week ago or so, maybe not even. But either way, this is a great new tune, and she's such a fantastic voice. I can really enjoy her stuff. And like I said, this isn't normal for NMS, but you know, with Katie, you always can make an exception because like she is just one of those artists that you'll get attached to fairly quickly because her music is really that good, and she's got a fantastic voice.
She has an absolutely stunning voice. I was lucky enough actually, so I went and did an interview with Stuart Clark Lewis, who does the Premium Blend radio show.
Right.
And they're just down the road from me, so they do it on Tuesdays, and I normally have a band practice on a Tuesday, so I've never been able to go in. And we had this week off, and I messaged him and said, "Oh, can I come in?" He said, "Yeah, of course, but I've got another artist in as well, so if you don't mind sort of sharing the limelight." I was like, "No, of course not." And it was Katie, and it was her, and I can't remember the guy's name, but it was a guy who was her guitarist, and I think they played 3 tracks throughout the evening, and it was just like, you know, a lot of these like community radio stations and all that are kind of the size of an average person's kitchen or smaller,
right?
And it was exactly that, and just standing, you know, within 3 foot of this powerful vocal coming at you was an amazing experience. Like, it really was pretty awesome. And you know, I was chatting to Stuart about 1-in-5 and actually about NMS as well and a few other things, but we just kept coming back to talking about Katie because she was just fantastic. She's a really, really cool artist. She's only, I think, 16, probably 16 now. You know, she just finished her exams and got her results for this team and stuff like that. And you know, I'm always a big supporter of young artists that are talented, because it's the future of, you know, it's what my son's going to grow up listening to and what we're going to be listening to when we're doing this in our 50s. It's amazing to hear the talent that's out there. And we've talked before about Wild Horse, and last week we played Honey Badger, and this week with Katie, another track from Katie. There are so many great people out there doing all sorts of different styles and all sorts of different genres, and combining things of old and bringing things that are new. And yeah, she played this track, and I was just like, that's absolutely awesome. So I was really happy when they sent it through, and her mum messaged me as well. I was like, "Oh, I've sent you a track, can you play it?" I was like, "Well, yeah." Because she's got an amazing voice. We're not going to miss out on that.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's one song that we'll get to next week. We don't have time for this week. Is another young artist named Erin Bloomer, and she's 15 years old. And that was a song that she sent you. That was "Right Love, Wrong Place."
Cool.
And anyways, we'll get to her next week. Unfortunately, time for this week, but she's another young artist, and she's 15 years old, and she is so talented. And I promise we'll get to her next week. It just the way my organization went this week, she didn't kind of fit into where I wanted it to. But I promise Erin will play next week. But yeah, she's got a beautiful voice, and 15 years old, man, like it's beyond impressive.
It's incredible, man. I mean, when I was 15, I discovered cigarettes and weed. You know, that didn't leave any room for talent. I just played lots of bar chords and learned loads of Nirvana covers. But these guys are actually genuinely good. So, you know, fair play. It's great to hear. It's fantastic, actually. And especially, you know, people all over the world actually are talking about, you know, Jeff earlier mentioned, you know, some play. Whether it's social or economic reasons, or because of, you know, the way it's and it'll come back around and it'll get good again. But there's a struggle. There's a you know, difficulty in the music scene in general in kind of engaging fans, and there's so many different bands out there, and it's, you know, hard to kind of capture or discover or find your audience.